What is going on, everybody? Hope everyone's having a great day. Thank you for your time and attention. I hope to bring you some value. What we're going to be talking about in today's video is what Amazon FBA is and why you should be starting it right now so you can start making extra money today. Amazon FBA is the process of bringing your product to the Amazon marketplace by using Amazon's fulfillment centers and two-day prime shipping to get your product to your customers. The FBA process as a whole involves creating your product, kind of finding it, getting it from suppliers, having your suppliers ship that to one of Amazon's fulfillment centers, creating a product listing on Amazon, and then ultimately launching your product, managing it, and improving on it to get the best out of your product and out of Amazon. I will be documenting my journey with Amazon FBA on my channel, so be sure to check it out so you can follow along and start your journey as well. Now, how you can get the most out of my content and kind of learning Amazon FBA as a whole is to focus your attention. So you might be kind of interested in a lot of different things. So like maybe you want to make money and you're finding all these different options. You might be looking at drop shipping, you might be looking at real estate, stocks, affiliate marketing, all these different things. But if you kind of take a look at all those different videos and you kind of like learning each piece and kind of jumping back and forth between each one of those, you're never really going to truly learn one. And ultimately, kind of what might happen is you might not even start any one because you're kind of overloaded with a lot of information. So kind of the best thing that you're going to want to do is pick one and then just focus on it and stay to it. Now, there are some people that are good at kind of multitasking. They can learn multiple things at the same time and do overall very well. Me personally, I'm not one of them. I kind of need to like stick with something, get very good at it, and then from there I can move on to it. So what you guys are going to want to do is pick any one of your kind of businesses that you want to do. If you want to follow along with me, I'll be doing Amazon FBA, but I'll also be doing stuff, different ones in the future. But what you want to do is pick one, learn from it, start it, and then master it. And once you complete all of those and you officially master it, then go on, start your next business, and repeat from there. All right, so right now you're probably thinking, okay, Connor, cool, Amazon FBA sounds nice. You have the two-day shipping, yada, yada, yada. But why should I use Amazon FBA? Why should I start FBA business? And you may have heard that it's oversaturated right now. You may have think Amazon FBA is dead and kind of there's no more potential to it. You want to try and jump onto something else. But I'm kind of what this video is going to be for is showing you why Amazon is the best place to start right now and all the opportunities that it has for you. So take a look at this first photo. Basically, it's saying that we have a $297.8 billion market capitalization for Walmart, Target, Best Buy, Macy's, Kohl's, Nordstrom, JCPenney, and just fitting in there, Sears. And that's overall at the very end of the 2016 year. Now, we take a look at this next picture, and Amazon's capitalization for the end of 2016 was even more than all of those put together. So that's kind of the size of Amazon in the grand scheme of things. Now, when we kind of take a look at kind of how the value has been over the last 10 years is kind of all the ones that we used to think about, these big brick and mortar stores, Sears, JCPenney, Nordstrom, all the same list from there. I mean, pretty good market capitalization. I mean, they were pretty big companies. They definitely made their way in this world. But you take a look specifically towards the end. You have Walmart, which is basically kind of staying hand in hand with kind of where they were 10 years ago. I mean, definitely Walmart's everywhere. They're well established and do a great job. But then you compare that to Amazon, which was kind of like this little kind of itty bitty online retailer that mostly had books and things like that, has now expanded to kind of this global e-commerce thing where everybody goes on Amazon to kind of make their orders. And if we kind of take a look overall at kind of the growth of e-commerce is if we take a look at last year with the overall market e-commerce growth, Amazon had 70% of that entire market compared to everybody else. So e-commerce is ever expanding, but Amazon has the biggest share of all that. So even when orders are going from in-store to the internet, they're more often than not going to Amazon. And then even below that is e-commerce, kind of completely out the door. Just looking at retail sales, is Amazon has about 1/3 of all retail sales, as well as kind of comparing that to everyone else with the 2/3. So Amazon being pretty much completely internet based has 1/3 of total overall sales. And taking just kind of a look at Amazon's growth as a whole is way back in 2004, they had just under 7 billion worth of revenue for the year. But then we take a look at kind of how they've exponentially grown up until now, at the end tail end of 2017, they have 177 billion worth of revenue. And we can only expect that if everything stays consistent with kind of how the graph is going to look, is they're going to be well over probably 250 billion for the next year, and so on for the next following years. So as you can see right now, really all the attention is on Amazon, and they're going to continue to grow. Like currently what they're doing is they're expanding their fulfillment centers. They're purchasing more kind of lower end companies to get more warehouses, get more distribution, to ultimately make the shipping process a lot easier. But what they're also doing is acquiring kind of new businesses in new categories. So like just this past year, they purchased Whole Foods. And if you think about it, right now, a lot of people do their food shopping at brick and mortar stores, so local supermarket, things like that. But if Amazon can bring people to starting to order food online, and they can ultimately get like fresh food within a day to your house, there's going to be a lot more people going on Amazon. And if they're even going out there specifically for food, then they start to browse for a couple other things that they might need, which ultimately might lead them to your product. So there's going to be ultimately a lot more people more frequently going out to Amazon, and that's where you want to place your product. So how exactly does all this pertain to you? Amazon is this super amazing company. What am I going to get out of it? Well, basically, Amazon, with its ever-expanding marketplace, has more people going into it, and all these extra people are going to have more needs in the market. And there's not going to be enough products to supply all those people, or at least there's enough demand where there can be more suppliers in the marketplace. One of the coolest things that I find with Amazon FBA is you get to run a business in its entirety just like a big company. You're going to have sales, so you're going to have to find where your people are. You're going to have to do Facebook ads, Amazon sponsored ads. You're going to have marketing, so creating your product listing, getting good photography, kind of constructing it to get the most optimized and look the best out of all the available products. You're going to be doing inventory, so keeping track of your inventory, contacting suppliers when we need new shipments. You're going to be doing accounting, taxes, things like that. So just like a business would, you got to take care of the day-to-day transactions, see the overall health of the company. And then ultimately, if everything works out, you get to reap the rewards. You get to see kind of all the profit that you make, but ultimately where you can kind of get a little bit more efficient in some areas of the aspect. Amazon is a great opportunity, but it's only an opportunity if you actually take an action on it. So if you do nothing, all you're doing is kind of wasting your time watching this video. Now you might think that it is a little bit saturated, but it's less saturated than you think. And even if it is perhaps maybe a little saturated, depending on kind of what category you're selling in, it's less saturated now than it is in 1 year, in 2 years, in 5 years, and 10 years. So ultimately, if you start now, you have a much better chance than if you start next year or years after that. Because ultimately what everything looks like is just like this. You have your potential up here if you start today. So even if things don't work out perfect, you still have the most potential if you start right now. There's the least amount of sellers as there ever are at this exact point. If you wait a year down the road, you have less potential with more sellers. And eventually it's going to come to the point where it's oversaturated with the number of sellers and your potential is way down here. So that's ultimately what we're going to be looking for, is you want to start this as soon as possible. And even if it's not an Amazon FBA, it could be any business, but all you have to do is you need to start it now so that you have the greatest potential to be successful. Now, what I want you to do before watching either my next video or anyone else's videos on Amazon FBA is I want you to write down what is your #1 goal in your life, kind of whether it's FBA related, drop shipping, anything like that. What is your #1 goal as to kind of why you're doing that? And then write down 5 things that you need to do in order to accomplish that goal. Thank you for your time and attention. If you want to see more videos about my Amazon FBA journey, go ahead, click the subscribe button at the bottom. Leave a like down below if you enjoyed the video. And then if you want to share kind of your goal and the 5 things you're going to do to obtain that goal, go ahead and comment that down below so others can kind of help keep you accountable with that. Thank you, everybody, and have a great rest of your day.